What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is the first news day of the entire week, which means chances are we're hopefully gonna get a good trade today. I'm gonna break down exactly what I'm looking for though in this video in terms of Bitcoin. So yeah, let's get into it. But just right before I do, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Xuan. I've been publicly documenting these trade calls that I've been making on YouTube for the last year and a half or so, and I'm currently at about a 75% win rate, which simply means that chances are I'm going to be right a little bit more compared to when I'm wrong. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So if we take a look at the daily bias so far, it is bearish. However, I think today is going to be one of those rare days where we're going to kind of ignore what the daily bias is telling us, because so far the liquidity here has been swept. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because when sell-side liquidity gets swept and the market starts showing a willingness to go towards the upside, you got to start drawing your eyes towards any kind of buy-side liquidity. Essentially, now that the objectives below here have already been taken temporarily, we should look towards an objective towards the upside. This is just a fundamental kind of rule of how the markets work, which is once you take out sell-side liquidity and if you start showing willingness to the upside, then immediately your eyes go towards previous buy-side liquidity levels. So the reason why this happens, for lack of a better explanation, right? I want you to imagine for a moment that at this point over here, a lot of the stop losses has been taken out from people previously, throughout this entire up move. Let's say they didn't take profit or whatever, they left their stop loss here. You could also have people that were kind of diving into a breakout, right? The price was low and then they wanted to, sell the breakout and stuff like that. Like basically you have a lot of people here that would have already gotten stopped out, and the market, or rather the bigger parties in the market, they are always hunting for, to stop more people out. After all, you can't really make money from trading if everyone's making money from trading, like nobody's making money. After all, this is a zero-sum game, which means that for every loser, there is somebody taking, like every time you lose $1, it's going into the pocket of somebody else. So you can imagine that for these large players, it would be in their best interest to stop as many people out as possible. So how are they going to do that? Well, once the sell-side objective has been completed, then you're going to go for plus side objective, because guess what? Throughout this entire down move here, there are going to be people that have, jumped into the short, but have not taken profit like an idiot, and they are still urgent. Slash people that are probably going to buy the breakdown, right? To hopefully catch a move towards the outside, or strong resistance and whatnot. And yeah, chances are they're going to get stopped out, because chances are you're going to, go for a sweep. And obviously I can't predict what the next move is going to be. Are we going to go for a retest, or are we going to go for, manipulation? But either way, that is completely irrelevant to what we're trying to do today, because right now we're just looking for an intraday trade. Now, the reason why I say that we're probably going to disregard the daily bias has to do with the fact that at the moment, literally just 4 minutes ago, we confirmed a pretty substantial CISD. And besides that, if you take a look at the daily time frame, previously you could have argued that, okay, if Christ was going to come back into this previous order block right here, you would actually just get rejected off of this order block and start heading, well, continuing towards the downside. However, today has not yet been that case. Now, I will also share a caveat later of the one thing that could potentially ruin this entire trade idea, so definitely stick around for that. But just to break down what I'm looking for at the moment, now that we have this full CISD over here that is confirmed, it basically means that this entire block here on the 1 hourly chart is now going to act as, or at the very least, we're going to anticipate it to act as future support until proven otherwise. Now, the moment we zoom into the 5-minute chart, we can start seeing a different kind of picture, in the sense where Asia is accumulation, right? And we don't necessarily know that this is accumulation until after the fact. Now that we are looking at this in retrospect, we can see, okay, Asia's accumulation. Prior to the London section, we actually swept below the anchor lows, and then you get an aggressive move towards the upside. It leads me to believe that we're probably looking at the potential A and D, right? Accumulation, manipulation, to trick people that into thinking that the market is in fact going lower, but it's not. And then now that, everyone is trapped in their shorts over here, the market aggressively heads towards the other side. Now, only comes the next part of the equation, which is the distribution side of things. Now, the thing that's going to, allow me to explain this better is the fact that we had news today. In fact, this is the first piece of news that we've gotten since Monday, which is that if you understand anything about the system, you understand that, the biggest and the most clean moves tend to happen on days where you have red folder high impact news. Why is that? Well, it goes back to a fundamental reason of why the markets move the way they do. At the end of the day, you have some pretty substantial players in the financial markets, and they are mostly responsible for moves like this, because guess what? Bitcoin is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and there is no way that me and you, the average Joe Schmo, there's no way that we're going to be moving the markets in any sort of significant passion. Now, this leads me on to the point that I was trying to make, which is that if most of the major moves are made by the smart money, then we got to reverse engineer. Okay, what do the smart money want to look for when it comes to moving the market markets in a major sense. That's right. They need it for a reason to move markets. So red folder higher pack news gives them exactly that, because almost every single market participant in the broader markets, as long as you know even a little bit about trading, you are going to be looking at that news event and you're going to go like, okay, I may not know what's going to happen at this time, but I do know that it is quite likely that something big is going to happen, right? I may not know if it's going to go up or down, but something's going to happen. This is that moment where the markets get primed for some sort of an aggressive move. In fact, you can see it quite clearly based on just the price action that we've had literally since Monday, right? We've just got a very, 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 very slow build up. So is today going to be the day that we finally get an explosion? Well, I do hope so. I may not be able to predict it, but I do hope so. Another thing to keep in mind is the fact that in terms of weekly volatility, right? If you see that we can reasonably expect around $6,500 worth of weekly volatility. And so far on this week, we started at the low of the week so far is at 62,300 and the high of the week is at 65,000, which means that is only $2,800. We are falling still far short of the expected volatility that we could reasonably expect for this weekly candle. Is today going to be the day that brings that volatility? Like, I really hope so, because this week has been incredibly boring so far. And even if we were to try to jump into a trade, like more often than not, I think you guys would have gotten stopped out. Now, it's for this exact reason why I continue to preach, the saying that not every day is a trading day. Sometimes not every week is a trading week. Well, so far this entire week, like, it's not been great. Now on Forex, we've been still making a killing, but on Bitcoin, it's definitely one of the rougher weeks. So if you've had a hard time this entire week so far, just understand that it's probably not the system that is broken, it's just market conditions for this week is not particularly great. Before you start even deciding that whatever system that you're trading and whatever strategy that we're using, before you start deciding and concluding that it is broken or like it's not particularly good and stuff like that, consider, for instance, what market conditions you're in. For example, if you're trading for me, this is trend trading system in the sense where when prices are moving aggressively and when, the market is trending, heading in a certain direction, this system thrives. We make so much money during those kinds of market conditions, and yet when the market starts ranging, that's when it becomes tough. It's also the reason why I continue to preach that you should always have access to other kind of pairs. Like, I trade a lot of Forex, because guess what? When Bitcoin is doing nothing, you have a bunch of other options that are completely uncorrelated to the crypto markets, and you can still make money that way. If you're only trading one asset, it's going to be very tough for you to kind of achieve consistent profitability, especially if you're already at a decent level in terms of trading, where you're at that point now where you're making decent money. The way that you're going to be able to make every month predictable, right, to bring in 5, 10, 20k a month is great to just diversify your assets. Because guess what? As long as your strategy is based on candlesticks, and as long as it's based off of technically reading a chart, guess what? It's going to work on a lot of other assets, because at the end of the day, everything is printing as a candlestick. So despite what other people might used to believe, like, oh, just because this works on Euro means it's not going to work on USD Canadian, like, that is false. That is a myth. But anyways, if you're watching till this point and you haven't yet hit that 5 to 10k per month kind of mark in trading that allows you to go full-time, or at the very least to just make a full-time living from trading, and if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, where I will help you install this proven system that you can see on the future videos, and to just get you to a point where you can make a full-time living from trading, take the first link in the description box below. So far, we've got about 60 students that have come through the doors and that work with me. 32 of them are currently full-time trading, which means this is a success rate of about 50%, which very little other programs can claim, if ever there is even one. All I mean to say is this stuff works. Been trading for a while and you are sick and tired of putting in all this effort but getting nothing up from it, then chances are you need some guidance and you need some proper guidance. This is the solution. But with that out of the way though, let's get back into that Bitcoin trade. So now that we have the CISD and the fact that we understand news is going to be at 8:30 a.m., it means that the ideal trading time for us is going to be between 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. New York. Now, the thing that we're going to be looking for is a retracement and continuation. Now, obviously, on the 1 hour chart here, you can't really see too many kind of key areas that you can take advantage of. But and also just placing a limit with your entry here and placing the stop loss here is not particularly smart either, because the stop loss is going to be like, what, $600 from top to bottom, which means in order to get 2R, you're going to be looking at a pretty big, you're going to need a pretty substantial move. So that wouldn't be ideal either. And even like, as you can see right here, I've got a couple of targets already blocked up for today, which is 65,400 and 65,700. Even at the max kind of target that we're looking for, it's only going to give us a 1.6 risk to reward. So that is not great. So how do we approach this then? Well, this leads me on to timing. So understanding that news is going to be at 8:30 and the ideal time window that we're going to be trading is going to be 1 hour before and 1 hour after, right? Basically this 2 hour kind of span. We're just going to be looking for price to, so wherever price is at that, kind of news window, we're just going to look for price to form a new order block. For example, as price breaks higher, you're going to get a 5-minute order block over here, and this is going to be your entry. That's your stop. That's your entry, and you're going to just target for 2R or the other 2 targets that are already marked out. Now, the reason why this works, and the reason why, I know I've broken it down very simply, but one of the reasons why this works so well is you got to realize there are 2 axes on your chart. You have the vertical axis, which is what everyone tends to pay attention to. Oh yeah, bro, price, yeah, technical, yeah. But nobody ever talks about time. But certain things happening at certain times, and especially if you also have news to kind of back it up, increases the probability of a trade by a lot. A CISD, like a retracement followed by a kind of CISD, on a 5-minute chart at, the news window versus, right now, have drastically different success rates. And as long as you understand that, you understand also that it's less about like, yeah, I'm not trying to predict like, okay, just kind of setting limits blindly. It's like, okay, once we get into the timing, I'm going to wait for the market to show its hand. And once I see all of these signs, then I'm just going to take it. I'm going to get a trade that has a very refined risk reward. And the stop loss is going to be pretty tight as well. And that's ultimately a good thing. If you're afraid of looking to make money. At the end of the day, like, yeah, I'm not giving you guys predictions. It's more so, hey, these are the couple of scenarios that are very likely to happen. And this is the invalidation scenario. And here are the conditions required for both of these scenarios to get met. And if they're met, then here's the step-by-step ABC. This is what these videos are for. But again, if you'd like to learn how to do this for yourself in a very simple manner, first thing to move to your box. Speaking about invalidation scenarios, obviously, there is a very high likelihood that if you just observe what is going on the 5-minute chart right now, or even just the 1 hour chart, you could make an argument that this is the range high and this is the range low. So far, we are heading straight towards the range high on a day where technically we have a bearish day bias. There is a chance that once you strip out the range high, you're actually just going to make an instant reversal towards downside. Kind of like what happened during the London session today. Now again, there's some nuance and there's context that goes into this. The fact that we have news, the fact that the low is already in sweat, really need to be that this is likely to be an AMD kind of thing. But in the event that this gets wet and cars start making an instant V-line towards the downside by the time you guys watch this video, / by the time news bulls around, then yeah, I'm going to be updating you my different being on X, so feel free to just follow me there. But also, with that said, there is quite a lot of alpha throughout this entire video right here. Just understand a lot of the things and a lot of the kind of knowledge that I was trying to impart to you in this video, and as well as a whole bunch of other videos. Like generally, if you just apply these things that I've mentioned, then like you're going to be successful, which is going to be very hard for you not to be successsul. So if I was going a little bit too fast and kind of missed a few concepts, I highly encourage you to just go back and check it out. Or like, hey, here's another suggestion. Recently, we had a 3-hour-long Q&A call where a lot of deep trading questions were asked. Check out the video, and I posted the replay on YouTube. Check it out.